And now joining me on WION Newsroom, Adar Juneja will break down the big business stories shaping your money and the economy. Nikita Singh will give us all the updates from the world of technology, and Vidur Katuria will take us through all the action from the world of sports. We begin with Adya for the market updates.
Well, thank you, Diksha. Fresh US strikes in Iran and rising tensions across West Asia has triggered a sharp sell-off in Asian markets, while oil prices surged on fears of wider regional instability and gold prices fell to a two-month low. First up, let's get you updated in markets. Now, South Korea's Kospi dropped more than 3%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell over 2%. And Japan's Nikkei also traded lower as investors reacted to escalating conflict risks. Now, European stocks opened in negative as investors assessed the prospects of a peace deal to end the Iran war. Shortly after the opening bell, the pan-European stock X 600 was 0.5% lower, with more sectors and major bourses in negative territory. In terms of what is happening in West Asia, well, Kuwait also activated its air defenses amid reported missile and drone threats, which is adding to concerns over security around key energy shipping routes in the region. Now, despite all the pressure on Asian equities, we have all seen Wall Street futures held steady after the S&P 500 and Dow closed at record highs overnight. Moving on now, oil prices jumped more than 2% after Iran and the United States exchanged fresh military strikes, raising fears of a wider conflict across West Asia. Brent climbed above $96 a barrel, while crude moved closer to $91. Iran's Revolutionary Guards have said that they targeted a US airbase in response to American strikes near Bandar Abbas, warning of a stronger retaliation if attacks continue. Now, the US says its operations were aimed at protecting forces and commercial shipping near the Strait of Hormuz. Markets are now increasingly worried about prolonged disruptions to global oil supply, especially around the Strait of Hormuz. And finally, gold prices fell to a two-month low as renewed US-Iran tensions boosted the dollar and pushed oil prices sharply higher, which I just told you, and increasing fears of rising inflation and prolonged high interest rates. Well, a stronger US dollar pressured bullion demand, while surging crude prices raised concerns that central banks, including the Federal Reserve, may keep rates elevated for longer to control inflation. And that is it from business. Now, for all the tech updates, it's over to you, Nikita.
Well, thanks so much, Adya. First up, TikTok suffered a major outage with hundreds of users reporting problems accessing the app, loading videos and using features like comments and messaging. Now, according to outage tracker Down Detector, reports of issues surged sharply in the United States early on May 28th. Users also took to Reddit and X to complain about feed errors, video loading failures and problems liking posts on the platform. Now, most complaints were related to the app itself, while others reported issues with inbox, video, stories and timeline updates. Next up, YouTube will now automatically label certain AI-generated videos as the platform steps up efforts to identify realistic synthetic content. The company said its internal systems will apply labels when it detects significant photorealistic AI, rather than relying solely on creators to disclose AI use themselves. YouTube also said it will make AI labels more prominent across both long-form videos and YouTube Shorts. The platform first introduced AI disclosure tools more than 2 years ago. And lastly, OpenAI's non-profit foundation has announced a $250 million fund to help workers and economies deal with AI-driven job disruption. The foundation said the money will support research grants and community programs focused on the impact of AI on employment and economic change. OpenAI also said it plans to study new ways of sharing AI's economic benefits more broadly, as companies around the world increasingly use AI to automate tasks and cut jobs. Well, that's it from the world of tech. Now, my colleague Vidur would be taking you through some sports updates across the globe. Over to you, Vidur.
Well, thank you so much, Nikita. There is just one name that is on every sports fan's lips today, and that is 15-year-old Vaibhav Suryavanshi. His extraordinary innings of 97 from 29 balls has left the cricket world in awe. He's now featured 12 sixes and took the Rajasthan Royals past the Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL Eliminator. And his exploits have even been called Bradman-esque. Former Australia player and IPL winning head coach Tom Moody said that the cricket world hasn't seen anything like this since the great Donald Bradman, who averaged almost 100 in Test cricket. Sachin Tendulkar also hailed the teenager's batting. Suryavanshi could also compete in the IPL final this season if the Royals beat Gujarat Titans in qualifier 2. Now in football, Premier League side Crystal Palace have won their first ever European trophy. The London club were crowned UEFA Conference League champions after beating Spanish side Rayo Vallecano 1-0 in Leipzig. Jean-Philippe Mateta scored the only goal of the game, which also gave Palace qualification to the Europa League next season. It was the perfect farewell for manager Oliver Glasner. The London club had been due to play in the Europa League but dropped to the continent's third-tier club tournament due to multi-club ownership rules. And finally, in tennis, former world number 1 Novak Djokovic has booked his place in the third round of the French Open. However, it was not an easy ride for the 24-time Grand Slam champion. Just like in his opening match, the 39-year-old faced a home player at Roland Garros. While he had to come from a set down against Giovanni Pesci Pericard, he was pushed hard again by world number 74 Valentin Royer. But the 39-year-old used his vast experience to prevail 6-3, 6-2, 6-7, 6-3 on court Philippe Chatrier. That's it from the world of sport for now. It's back to you, Diksha.
Thank you so much, Vidur, Nikita and Adya for getting us all those updates. And with that, it's time for us to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. More news and updates will follow on the other side. You're watching Beyond World is One. Stay tuned.